I was born in Barbados in 1946, so I'm 70.
Okay.
I grew up there until the age of 11.
Yeah.
I came to this country in 1957 to join my parents, who were already here. They came over in 1954 or 55. And we grew up in Oxford. You know, my brother and I, my brother Joe, who's the next one up from me, he's 3 years older than me, so he was 14 at the time. The two of us went to that school together. We were the first two black children there, and we were hated by the staff. I was never in the 4 years in that school given a stick of homework for any subject, including art. It was that sort of nightmare, and I knew all the time that it was a disaster, and I had very high ambition. And then I did the rest of the degree at Chelsea School of Art. I got a scholarship to Chelsea School of Art, and that was in 1965, and I was there for 3 years. And again, it wasn't a very happy experience. It wasn't a very happy experience. Again, I was the only black student, African Caribbean. I didn't have models of artists who had a similar background to myself, whose work I could use as a starting point. By meeting Joan Burroughs, actually, who was one of the developers of New Beacon Books, or one of the creators, if you like, of New Beacon Books, New Beacon Bookshop, and the Caribbean Artist Movement. I was, quite young, in my 20s, and I met these people for the first time, and was quite, I didn't know anything about them until I met them. But I was, for the first time, meeting creative black people, like myself, from the Caribbean mostly, and that became an astonishing moment. And then there was an exhibition in Islington that I was involved in, but apart from that, there wasn't anything at all that indicated that I had any sort of talent, anything to say or contribute, until Noel Calabar came along, and Michaela came to interview me here in this studio, and I really enjoyed meeting her very much indeed. She was like you guys, very accommodating. And I have to say that, and this is the honest truth, it's been one of the biggest experiences I've had in art. I was going to say art education. I'm still into that mode of speaking and thinking. It has been one of the biggest experiences and most important experiences I've had in art. Showing at the Royal Academy was incredible, but Noel Calabar has been at least as good. And simply because I was working, showing work alongside people, like Aubrey Williams, Ronald Moody, Sonia Boyce, Denzel Forrester, and so many others, people I really greatly respect and who are fantastic artists. And I've always felt I really belong in there because I've got something to say as well. I made that painting in 1979 when I was teaching at Haggerson School, and so I painted it really at weekends and the odd day off midweek that I had. I think I was doing about 3 or 4 days at the school, and the rest of the time I painted. And I just wanted to engage again in real meaty, figurative painting, where you really have to look very closely. And I also wanted to paint me, to represent my skin and myself as best I could do.